Electric cars are known for their ability to pull away silently. And gone are the days of waking the neighbours up when you start your car up in the morning, especially if you own a Tesla Model 3. But the lack of engine poses other problems. Without the constant drone of engine noise in the background, we pick up on other stuff, like wind and road noise. And it's been a common complaint amongst Tesla owners that the road noise on the Tesla Model 3 is excessive. There are signs that Tesla are doing something about that in the 2021 models, but we can't have it both ways. We can't have a Tesla Model 3 that's affordable and there for the mass market and the luxury that goes along with it, because soundproofing is not cheap. But is it even really an issue, or is it just in our imagination because there's not any road noise? Well, in this video we set to find out with a direct comparison to a combustion car with similar performing stats, so a Golf R, and I've bought a noise reduction kit both for the roof and the door seals, so we'll see if that makes any difference to the decibels. And thanks to the viewer Tom that suggested the door seals, because I didn't even know that was a thing until he wrote that in the comments, so thanks for that one. So before we get onto the wind reduction kit, as promised I said we'd compare the baseline to a combustion car. And here it is, the Golf R. So it's 0 to 60 is slightly better, it runs on 19-inch wheels, its on the road price is significantly less, however its running costs are a lot more, and it's also 4-wheel drive. The Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus is rear-wheel drive and runs on 18-inch wheels. So the Golf R roars when it accelerates. So we've done this test at cruising speed, and I'm aware the Apple Watch probably isn't the most scientific way to measure it. However, because it's the same device, I reckon the comparisons are going to be similar. So this was the Golf R's internal cabin noise at 40 miles an hour whilst cruising, and then this is the Tesla Model 3's. Next we upped it to 60 miles an hour to see if the aerodynamics of the vehicle altered it at all, but as you can see there was no difference. So we'll play that again without me talking so you can listen to the audio yourself. So that did actually surprise me there. The noise in the cabin of both the Tesla Model 3 and the Volkswagen Golf was exactly the same. So volume-wise, exactly the same. Now you'll have probably noticed the tones were slightly different, and I think that's because the noise coming from the VW was created by the engine, whereas the noise coming from the Tesla Model 3 was the wind and the road noise. So what we can probably take from that is that the electric VW cars may actually be quieter than Model 3 if they apply the soundproofing principles as they do in their Golf. Now, before we move on to the main test of the wind and the noise reduction kit, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit subscribe down the bottom right hand corner straight away, because Tesla Talk talks about everything to do with Tesla's software developments, latest updates, the future of electric cars. So if you're interested in any of those, you'd be a fool not to hit that button straight away. So if the noise in the Tesla Model 3 does bother you, what can you do about it? Well, let's find out. So this is the Model 3 noise reduction kit that we've got here. Now it claims it's going to reduce the wind noise that goes over the top of the Model 3. And you can see on the panoramic roof, we've got a little bit of a gap around the panels in the glass. And the idea of this is that it's just going to sit in those panels and make it a nice smooth airflow over the top of the car. Whether it does any good or not, I'm not sure, because it basically looks like just a big elastic band. It cost £11 from Amazon, and we'll have to wait and see whether it does any good or not. Now it says it's pretty easy to install, and I imagine it is because it is just a rubber band. But the idea is you move to one corner, move to the opposite diagonal corner, and then just put it in all the holes. So I can't imagine this is going to take very long to put in at all. So we'll give it a shot. It's all tangled already, which is not a good start. So that's the wind reduction kit on. I'm not convinced that's going to make any difference, because as you can see by the ridges here, there's still a ridge. Like if you were to run your finger over that, it's still not perfectly smooth. So you're still going to get some turbulent airflow. At the sides here, the panel gaps are so big that it's actually just disappeared in the panel gaps anyway. So I can't see that's going to make any difference, but hopefully with the airflow, it's just going to be going straight over the top. Then at the back, again, I don't know whether you can hear that, but you can hear my fingers drop down in the ridge. Now, maybe I've put it too far in. So let me know in the comments if you think I've put it on wrong, because the instructions weren't that clear. But the problem is, if I didn't put it in deep enough, as you can see when I was putting on, it was just springing out. So I imagine with a bit of wind resistance, it might just spring out as you're driving along. So I think you've got to push it down quite firm. But we'll go out and give that a test and see whether that's made any difference to the wind resistance whatsoever and the wind noise, because there was a little bit of wind around today, but not massive amount, because it's a nice still winter's day. Right, let's go and give it a test. Now, to make it slightly more scientific, I have downloaded an app for my iPhone that measures decibels. And on the left-hand side, you'll see the original Tesla Model 3 without any modifications. On the right, that's after the wind reduction kit. It's all the original audio, so not been altered in post-production or anything like that. So I'll shut up, I'll let you listen and see the original footage and compare the two. So that's it for the Tesla Model 3 wind noise reduction kit. I love the fact it's called that. It's just basically a rubber band. I have to say, I couldn't really notice a massive difference when I was driving around, and the decibel meter supported that really. Maybe at the higher speeds, the tones were slightly different, but the reduction was probably minimal. So I'd say waste of £11, most likely. So let's see what effect the door seals have now with my slightly unorthodox application process. I'm aware I'm installing this controversially, but the rationale that I have is the fact that this rubber band is not going to be big enough to create a seal there. So I'm hoping to run the rubber band almost where this dirt line is here, so that it kind of folds over on itself with this flap, and then hopefully seals that gap, because I can see on these door frames here that the gap, if we just look on this bit here, the gaps are just too big, and I don't think it's going to do a good enough job. So the plan is to go against the manufacturer's instructions, which could backfire on me. The other reason why I'm not 100% sure that the way the supplier has told us to put it on is because it says about cutting for the drainage holes, and you'd have just thought that the manufacturer would have designed it around the drainage holes. So this is why I thought I'd give it a shot. If it doesn't work, I'll just take it off. And the other reason why I just thought this might be the right way to put it on was because the rim that's kind of like sealed all the way around is the same width as the adhesive tape, which makes me think there's a pattern there that we need to identify. So this is it. This is the bit that might go wrong here. This is why you should probably follow the instructions of the manufacturer or the supplier, but we'll see. Maybe that's that's how you're meant to put them on. I actually went that a bit low on that, because you can see there's a bit of a taper there, so I think these drainage holes should just taper off the top of those drainage holes, and then drain out as it normally would, and then it goes from there. I think I might have hit the nail on the head there. Can't wait to test that and see if that's actually works. I'll be amazed if it has, especially as every other single YouTube video pretty much tells you to do it a completely different way to the way I've done it. In fact, even the manufacturer, even the supplier's website does. So can't wait to test that. Right, let's do the other doors. We'll go out and do a sound test, and I'm going to do the other doors the same. Now that one's worked and it doesn't look completely wrong or catastrophic, then I'm going to do the other doors exactly the same way, because I think that's the way it should go on. So let's see what effect the door seals have now by comparing them all three side by side. Just to compare, the door seals video actually also has the wind reduction kit on top as well, so that's like the ultimate soundproofing for the Tesla Model 3. So I'll shut up again, I'll let you listen to the original audio and see what you think to it. So I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that, because driving around I couldn't really notice a significant difference, and the decibel meter again supports that, plus the audio that was being played during it. That was all the original audio that wasn't altered in post-production at all. Maybe again the tones were slightly different as we were changing around, but I think someone coming from their Model 3, which hasn't got noise reduction on it, jumping into my Model 3, they're not going to be telling that I've got any extra noise reduction or soundproofing on my car at all. And I know some people are going to say, well, he installed it wrong, that's the reason it didn't work, which I appreciate, because I did go against the supplier's advice, but I just don't think their advice would have sealed it correctly around that door frame and create the tight, airtight seal that you're going to need to reduce some of the sound. And as you saw in the clips, it was actually like properly up against the paintwork, creating a nice seal around that part. I also double checked that it wasn't the vibrations being caused, because I'd attached it to the vehicle itself. So I did try recording the noise in the car with it handheld and attached to the roof as well. And there was actually no difference. So it wasn't the vibrations being caused through the phone, which I thought might have been a reason that they were all pretty much identical. Now, I have seen some evidence that these door seals do actually work, but looking at the materials that they use, they were substantially thicker rubber than the ones that I applied to my car, so maybe that was the issue that I've had. Overall though, would I recommend this particular design? Probably not. I can't really tell any difference as I'm driving around. It was maybe a different tone going on, and they're not particularly expensive, so if it does really bother you, then maybe it's worth the £50. But would I do it again if I had the option? No. But let me know what you think of my install method and whether that might have been the cause. Personally, I think in the UK, it's not the wind noise that's causing the issue. I think it's the road noise, and the quality of our roads is the thing that's affecting it. So all of these kits are actually aimed at reducing wind noise, which probably isn't the issue. It's the general soundproofing within the cabin of the car, which is going to cost thousands of pounds to get rid of, not £50. But it was worth a try. So that's it for this week. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button for everything related to Teslas, all the software updates they bring out, and when the travel restrictions reduce, I've got some exciting road trips I'm planning as well. And if you found that useful, please give it a thumbs up, because that never goes amiss. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next week.